Shane, what type of digital asset classes is the new fund going to focus on?
At SVK Crypto, we're very, very excited. The new fund that we've just launched is going to focus on very early stage blockchain technology. I'm very happy to announce that it has been partnered up by EOS. We're actually the fifth investment that EOS have made, and we're the first investment in London. So I think it's a real validation for what's currently going on in the London cryptocurrency space. When we're looking to deploy capital, we're really looking at projects that are in their very early stage that would be thinking of actually using the EOS platform in order to have their project list on. So almost like we've seen in the past with Ethereum or some of the other well-known brands. I think EOS are making a big play into that, and we're really privileged that they've chosen SVK Crypto to be their partner with regards to venture capital.
What do you think the advantages EOS has over something like Ethereum?
My God, how long have we got? It really feels like Bitcoin was 1.0 and Ethereum was 2.0 with their ability to use smart contracts. I think when you look at EOS and their ecosystem in total, it's amazing what Dan and Brendan have done. They're really looking at speed, they're really looking at flexibility, and they're looking at it to be free.
What are really the shortcomings of the current solutions that are out there? In the industry standard today, speed is a significant issue.
Absolutely, and I think we've seen that with Ethereum, and I think Ethereum has just been an amazing project and still is to this day. We currently hold Ethereum. We're big believers in Ethereum and the ERC20 token. It's been a wonderful token for the very buoyant ICO market that we've seen last year and again this year. However, I think scalability and timing is very important, and when we look at CryptoKitties and how 38,000 transactions actually broke the network, it was a little bit unfortunate. But when you look at EOS with their ability to have scalability, both lateral and horizontal, and the interconnectivity of blockchains, it's a real winner.
How long do you think it takes before we get to some sense of stability in the price of cryptocurrencies, some predictability in the price of cryptocurrencies?
Well, I certainly don't have a crystal ball, and I don't tend to predict anything, but I think what you're referring to is the volatility. And yes, it has been a wonderful ride. We're in the infancy of this amazing new technology, and of course there'll be fear and greed. That's what drives an underlying market. However, with regards to volatility, I like it. I come at it from an equity portfolio management. I come at it from a hedge fund background. So the volatility I love. If the market was straight and clear and always static, then there'd be no
less
money
opportunity, it'd be boring.
That's correct.
So what is the hedging strategy?
Well, that's interesting. And for us, I think that we believe in this technology. We believe in this market. And when you look at the size of the market capitalization around 370 billion, and of course, it was up at 800 billion, but that's not the way to look at it. When you look back at the start of 2017, the total market capitalization was 20 billion.
Yeah, so we've explosive growth.
It's been explosive growth, and we've come a long way, and we're only getting started. So I think that yes, there is volatility in this space, but for us, we're buyers, we're believers, we're holders. We like to deploy capital into the space at very early stage projects that we know and love and we believe in. And we realize that this isn't an IPO, this is an ICO. This is going back to the very dawn of the project where they're sketching it out on the whiteboard. And wouldn't everyone have loved to have gone back to Amazon or Google when they were coming up with their analysis and project?
When you think about the early days, investors focus on cryptocurrencies and then blockchain infrastructure assets. How do you think about SVK's focus between the two?
Yeah, it's a great question. So you're right in what you're saying. You've got blockchain technologies and you've got cryptocurrency assets, and it's how you look at each of the tokens. Some are actually a currency. Some have had a store of value. Bitcoin, 2-3 years ago, it was used more for people, peer-to-peer, buying and selling of products and services, and I think it worked very well until the price movement started to fluctuate and the fees came in. However, I still believe Bitcoin is a great store of value, and I think it will replace a lot of the uses of gold and very other different commodities. You look at some other utility tokens whereby you can just use that token within the ecosystem of that project, and I think that's a little bit harder to try to use as a currency. And then of course you've got, as you rightly said, blockchain technology, and you're actually investing into the infrastructure. We believe, as the personal computer was of the 1970s, and we had the internet of the 1990s, blockchain is the new technical revolution that will change our lives, make it better, transparent, will make it clearer, make it trustworthy, and it's the ability to move value and trust in a transparent way.
What do you think then are the best infrastructure investment opportunities in this year and into 2019?
I definitely believe that we at SVK Crypto are really looking for the piping. We're looking for the roads. We're looking for the infrastructure. So therefore, I'm really looking at larger scale projects. So we've really liked the Cardanos of the world. We've really liked the EOSs of the world. There's some amazing projects coming through behind that. We've just looked at Cadena, which is a wonderful project coming out of two gentlemen from JP Morgan and two guys that have also had a background with the SEC. So we're really looking at the piping and the plumbing rather than the individual miners, our buyers of the pickaxes, our etc.